on all the other social media platforms. Well, listen, everyone, I am super excited. I know I'm supposed to be going live at 7 o'clock and it's officially 6:59 Eastern Standard Time, but I'm going to give people a second or so to join us. I see some familiar faces who are joining us right now. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Stell. Excited that you are here. Now, first and foremost, if you are interested, if you are curious about how you could become a paid and powerful presenter, I just want you to type paid in the comments. I want to do a temperature check. I want to see who's serious about this, who's still thinking about it, who's on the fence, who's just like, not sure yet, right? Because all of those are viable things to be interested and curious about this speaking industry, but I am curious to know who wants to be paid, right? Like some people want to leave an impact. Hey Denise, how are you? Some people want to inspire the nations, and there's some of us like me, we want to check, right? Put the check in my hand for my speaking services. Pay me for my intellectual property. Run me my money for my message, right? All those good things. Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. For those of you who do not know me, you're not familiar with me, maybe we just connected in 2023, maybe we have been fast friends for a long time, or maybe this video happened to pop up on your screen as you were scrolling these social media streets. My name is Quinn Conyers, and I transform average events into epic experiences as a compelling keynote speaker and an energetic MC. And I have been doing this work for the last 19 years. However, I have been a full-time speaker and entrepreneur for the last 9 years. Yes, 9 years. So speaking, emceeing, training, is how I make my money. That is how I feed my family. That is how I put food on the table. I do not have a 9 to 5. Speaking is my number one sole business, and I get compensated for it. And I'm very grateful. Some organizations that I've had the pleasure, the honor, and the privilege to speak for, organizations like Nike, Meeting Planners International, American Association of American Endocrinologists, UPS, Walmart, National Association of Women Business Owners, Visa, PayPal. These are just a few organizations that have paid me to speak on their platform, either as an MC, as a trainer, or even as a keynote speaker. So I share that with you because I've been doing this for a while, right? Some people are just getting started, which is great. And there's some people who really have earned their stripes in this industry. And I believe that I have been one of those people that have really put the work in. And I'm not just talking about something that I did 10, 15 years ago. It's something that I am currently doing now. And if you follow me, I am no secret. I share my speaking journey, whether it's behind the scenes, whether it's traveling here and traveling there. And yeah, that's how I roll. So let's go ahead. When you went big and were truly, oh, well, thank you, Stell. I appreciate you. Stell says, I remember when you went big and you're truly a phenomenal speaker. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, let's go ahead, right? I just want to give you a little bit of background, right? Because sometimes in these internet streets, people really be pursuing and putting on a facade that they don't live in. And I live, dream, breathe, pray, sleep, speaking as a living. That's what I do. That's how I make my money. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to host this live. I'm calling it, you know, successfully speaking. And to be honest with y'all, I don't know if this is going to be me doing live. I don't know if I'm going to turn this into type of show and bring on other guests. I don't know. I'm going to let God use me, right? But what I do know is the inboxes, the emails, the text messages I get are all very similar. Quinn, how do I get paid to speak? I see you out here. I see you in different stages. I'm curious. I've dabbled in speaking. I'm interested in getting paid to speak. I spoke a couple of times. I got paid, or I did speak a couple of times. I did not get paid. And in 2024, I'm really ready to either make this a solid and strong revenue stream in my business. That is what I've been hearing. If anything, like I just said, resonates with you, just type me in the comments. Are you getting paid every now and then, got paid once, never been paid, but want to get paid? And you're just trying to figure out, I have a message, I have a desire, and I want to get paid to speak when I open up my mouth. If that is you, type me in the comments. All right, we got Miss Tammy. She says, me. We also have Latoya, who says me as well. We got a few people who are chiming in. All right, so let me go ahead and break this down. If you know anything about me, I'm a speaker, but I'm also a trainer at heart. So anytime I drop tips, tools, techniques, or strategy, you might want to have a pen and paper ready, because this is a pseudo masterclass. I think I can't give it all to you, but I'm going to give you what I can, within the next 25 minutes. I'm going to hold you for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to let you go. And if you like this, if you love this, let me know, and I'll continue to do these every week. If not, we'll see how it goes. But for right now, Janine, it's me and you, Miss Janine M. Thomas. We going rock and roll. So I want to make sure that I know that you could be doing anything. You could be cooking, you can be eating, you can be chasing them kids around, you could be winding down with your husband, your partner, your spouse, your mate, but you decided to tune in. So I want to make sure that this live is absolutely positively worth your while. So if you are anything like me and you are a learner and an earner, now is a great time. Hey, Solomon, how are you? How is a great time to literally grab that pen and paper, or if you are, new age, go ahead and take out that phone and go to the notes section and we can rock and roll. So what are a few things? What are a few tips? What are a few techniques that you can position yourself to prepare to become a paid and powerful presenter? And the reason why I'm leaning into the word prepare is many of us want someone to write us a check. They want us to, get paid for our services. But in all honesty, we are not as prepared as we would like to be. So part of my job and part of my assignment, I think, in this season is to prepare people to become paid and powerful presenters. Because even if you're paid, if you don't set that stage on fire, if you don't leave that audience hanging on to the edge of their seat, then you're not going to come back and get repeat revenue. And part of being a great speaker and part of being a speaker that gets paid consistently is going to be on your ability to be a powerful presenter and not just stand up and deliver a message. We want a meaty message. We want a message that resonates. We want a message that transforms. When you're done speaking, minds should be blown, chairs should be knocked over, perspective should be shifted. And a lot of times the messages that we are giving might not be as meaty as we want to. Hey, Sister Charlotte, how are you? Good to see you. My godmother's on here, y'all, on the live with me. So that's what I want to dive into. I want to prepare you as much as possible. So when you enter into this business of speaking, you know a little bit more than just, I want to be a great speaker and I want to change lives, or I have a story to tell. That is not enough to make you a paid and powerful presenter. You need way more than, I have a message to tell, or I want to change the world with my story, if you want to be a paid and powerful presenter. So where do we start? Number one, for all you note takers, the first place you start is making sure that you can answer the question, what do you speak about? You know why, Solomon? Because 10 times out of 10, if you call yourself a keynote speaker, a trainer, a facilitator, an MC, a moderator, any type of speaking services, the question that you're going to be asked is, well, what do you speak about? Or if somebody goes to your website, they go to your Facebook page, they go to your Instagram, they go to your LinkedIn page, they're going to be looking at the About Us section to figure out what it is that you speak about. And I have found that a lot of speakers who want to get paid really struggle, or they have a lot of challenges with answering this question. If you're familiar with me, you probably know where I'm about to go. You have to have an elevator pitch for your speaking business. That's what the world calls it. I call it a verbal business card. So when people say to you, hey, I want you to come and speak, or I'm interested in your speaking services, Miss Denise, can you tell me a little bit more about what you speak about? And you just say customer service. Well, customer service is a title. It's not a transformation. And if people want to pay you to speak, especially if you want 4 and 5 figures to speak, you have to be able to tell people, what did you speak about, in a way that is clear, concise, and compelling. And many people who I know who desire to get paid to speak, they are still struggling. They have a topic, but not necessarily a message. Or, the word says to everyone. We all know everyone is not even a market. But if you really want to position yourself, if you want to package yourself, if you want to position position yourself as a paid speaker, you have to be able to answer the question. This is speaker business 101. What do you speak about, right? So you being able to answer that question is going to position you better because most people are vague. They are all over the place when it comes to answering the question, what do you speak about? Or worse, they have multiple topics. You can't be a customer service expert, a leadership expert, a sales expert, as well as an expert on, transitioning to other jobs. It's just too much. So it's like, what is it that you actually speak about? And can you convey your speaking services in a way that's clear, that's concise, and that's compelling? Because if you just say, I'm a leadership speaker, I hate to tell you this, but leadership speakers come a dime a dozen, right? But if you say, I teach millennial leaders how to lead companies and organizations that have multi-generational workforces, then that's different. Or I teach baby boomers how to lead teams that have mostly millennials and Gen Z as their staff. You see the difference? So it's not enough just to have the portion or the part of your topic. You have to talk about how your topic can transform the audience. Y'all with me? Does that make sense? If that makes sense, just type "makes sense" in the comments, right? I just want to make sure that you understand. And what I find when people are reaching out and I ask them the question, what do you speak about? What's your topic? The struggle bus pulls right into the parking lot and they are all over the place trying to explain how exactly what they speak about, or they haven't figured it out yet. So you can't expect somebody to pay you premium if you can't articulate or you can explain the excellence of your message, right? So it's not just enough to be customer service, leadership, sales, right? How does you coming speaking to sales transform a company or a department? Right? That's exactly what you need to figure out. How does my message transform an audience? Right? So that's the first thing. The second thing that I think that you need to do if you want to become a paid and powerful presenter is you have to do this. You have to understand that being a great speaker and having a great message is not enough. You have got to transform to just being a speaker or a presenter to running a speaking business. Business is the key word, right? So when I say a speaking business, what does your inbound system look like if somebody wants to hire you to speak? If I say, hey, Janine, I saw you on LinkedIn. I think you're pretty awesome. I'm interested in having you speak at my event. What is your process? Right? Do you just jump on a phone call with them and say, okay, and start asking a bunch of questions? Do you have an intake form? Do you have a pre-event questionnaire? Do you send them to a link to your website to learn more about the event? Like, what is your inbound process? So the biggest thing I can tell you to prepare to become a paid and powerful presenter is you have to think of this not as I am a speaker looking to get paid, but I am a speaker who runs a business, who my product is a message in the form of a keynote, in the form of a workshop. So when you begin to look at speaking as a business and not just the art or the science of delivering a message from a stage, you begin to shift the way you look at it. So now keynoting is a product, workshops are a product, facilitation and training is a product, coaching can be a product. So now you're not looking at, is it just a service provider, but you're looking at your speaking services as a menu of services that somebody can buy and pay and invest in. So when you begin to look at your speaking business as a business and stop looking at yourself as a speaker, that's when you begin to transform, because most people who get paid and they get paid consistently are running and operating a speaking business, right? Meaning, what's the process? If somebody reaches out to you, there is an inbound lead, right? They're interested in having you come to speak. What's the next step? What's the third step? What's the fourth step? What's the process for someone to book you and hire you as a speaker? So if you don't have a process, then you're already behind. So my job, my goal with doing these lives, I'm calling them Successfully Speaking, is to prepare you. I want to prepare you, right? I tell people all the time, it's almost like there's layers and levels to running a speaking business. It's like there's layers and levels to running a business, right? If you are a professional athlete and all your hopes and dreams are to play at the high school level, that's great. But once you decide to to go to college, there's a different level of preparation. After college, if you want to go pro, let's say NFL, NBA, whatever that looks like, there's a different level of preparation. And then if you want to go to the Olympics, right? If you want to go to the Olympics, there's a different level of preparation. And I believe a lot of times we are not getting paid to speak, not because we don't have a good message, not because we can't, master a stage. It's because we're not properly prepared. So I want to do is I want to show you how to prepare. So as you enter into this space, you are not blindsided. And I want to go back to the analogy of an athlete. Do you know that there's athletes who prepare 4 years for an 11-second opportunity? I know this because they are runners. They prepare 4 years for an 11-second opportunity. So when it comes down to speaking and getting paid, this is not something that you can do. I hate when the gurus say, I'm going to teach you how to earn 6 figures in 6 months being a speaker. Yeah, no, it doesn't work like that. Sometimes it might take 6 months, 3 months for you to put in a lead and for it to come back around to you again, right? So I don't want this to be all you got to do is this, and then it's going to happen, because that's not the reality. Like I said, I've been doing this 19 years. I've been 9 years full time. So there's no magic pill or potion. Now, there's things that can advance you and accelerate you, but it's not one of those things you snap your fingers and all of a sudden you making $10,000, $15,000, $25,000 for a speech. It doesn't work like that. It's a process to it, right? So again, preparation. Preparation is number 2 in regards to how you can prepare to become a paid and powerful presenter. Hey, Sherelle, I'm happy to see you. And I'm curious, if you are joining me live, type live in the comments right now. If you happen to be catching the replay, I want you to do replay rockstar. I just want to know how many people are live, how many people are catching the replay. Either way, type it in the comments. I see you right here on Instagram. I'm also live on several social media platforms, but type live if you're in the comments, live if you are catching the replay. Type replay rockstar. Hey, Miss Tammy Nicole, happy that you are here. We got all types of people here. Okay, perfect. All right, so hey, Jonesy, nice to see you. We got Malika, we got Ever, we got Sade. Yes, all my favorite people. I feel like this is like a reunion, right? Happy New Year to all of you as well. Okay, so preparation. I'm still on preparation. I'm gonna stay on here for a little bit. The next is your adequate marketing materials. If you want to get paid to speak, you have to have the right marketing materials. And what do I mean by that? Now, most people will talk about, you need a headshot. All right. Now, if your headshot is from the 1950s, the 1960s, or the 1970s, that's the basics, right? Get your headshots done, right? Like, you definitely want to have a headshot, something that's professional. Also, when I talk about marketing materials, do you have a speaker reel? 10 times out of 10, if somebody's looking to hire you as a speaker, they are going to do what I call a digital background check on you. So they're going to go into Google, they're going to go into LinkedIn, they're going to go into whatever social media platform, they're going to type in Michelle Thomas, right? So when Michelle Thomas comes up and you're saying that you want to get paid to speak, guess what? These meeting planners, these event planners, these bureau leads, they want to see video of Michelle speaking. They want to see Michelle's potential one sheet. They want to see some of Michelle's past clients, because we want to make sure that Michelle is prepared to hit the stage, right? So it's like, you got to make sure that people are not just going to take your word for it. We live in a digital age that everybody checks everybody out. Every time I get on a phone with someone, but especially if I don't know them, they always tell me the same thing. Girl, I watched all your videos. I went down a rabbit hole on your LinkedIn page, right? I watched some of your stuff because I wanted to get a feel of how you would be, to see if that would be a great fit for my audience as well, right? So you want to make sure you have the adequate marketing materials. And I'm going to go over which marketing materials that you need. I have an upcoming challenge that's going to be happening at the end of this month. It's going to be 3 days. And I'll go into all of that, but I want to give you a couple of basics. Another marketing material that I feel like people should have, that is very much, overlooked and easy to get, is what other people say about you. Testimonials, client success stories are also marketing materials. I say one of my best assets that I do to get more opportunities is my LinkedIn is on fire when it comes to testimonials. I have over 160 speaker and MC recommendations. So even if I suck, even if I'm a horrible speaker, even if I get on that stage and I am horrible, right? You couldn't tell. You know why? Because my speaker marketing materials and link recommendations is one of them. So I don't care if you spoke for free. I don't care if you spoke for a love offering and a dinner. I don't care if you spoke for a handshake, a hug, and a hand high five. Every time you speak, you should be collecting testimonials as part of your marketing materials because people look like that, right? People used to say word of mouth was the best thing that you could do to promote and advertise your business. And that's great. But also, people want to see word of mouth in word of mouth, right? They want to see it written somewhere. So that's another marketing material. And like I said, I'm going to go through a bunch of different marketing materials in my 3-day challenge on what speakers need to have because my job is to prepare you, right? I always tell people I didn't wake up like this. I work for this. I cry for this. I pray for this. I messed this up to get it right. So I've been doing this for a while, and I see that the biggest mistake, the biggest prevention that people have when it comes to getting paid and being a powerful presenter is that they are not prepared. So my job, my goal, my duty in this season to do as much as I can is to really prepare you to be a paid and powerful presenter. All right, let's keep going. So I talked about this before, and I'm going to go into one more thing, right? But you have to understand if you want to get paid to treat this like a speaking business and not just as a speaker. If you are interested in getting paid to speak, my question to you is, how many people have you reached out to? How many people have you pitched your speaking services to? Are you wishing, hoping, and praying that people just reach out to you and offer you $10,000 to speak? Because it doesn't work like that. You have to be doing sales calls. You have to be talking to people who can potentially hire you, right? So you want to think about it like that. All right, number 3. I think I'm on number 3. So if you're just joining, my name is Quinn Conyers. I'm super excited that you are here. And I have been a professional speaker and MC for the last 9 years full time. I've been 19 years in this speaking space. And I am just committed to showing aspiring, emerging, and established speakers and entrepreneurs, business owners, and founders how to add speaking as a solid income stream into their business. My number one priority is to prepare you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you can make 6 figures in 60 days as a speaker because most of us are not prepared to do that. So I want to take a step back and prepare you to show you what you need to get started. So when you enter this space, when you enter whatever industry is going to be the industry that you dominate, you are very prepared. All right. I love this, right? So we got Miss Toya Corbett in the building. One of my mentors is here as well. Latoya says, do you have a link if we want to have a session with you? Just send me a DM, Latoya, and I'll let you know next steps. I will be honest with you. People have asked me this all the time. Do I coach? Yes. Do I coach often? No. The reason why I don't coach as often as I want is because I'm actively still speaking, right? So February, March is when my schedule picks up. So I do not coach year round. So if you're ever interested in coaching with me and I do have a slot open, I suggest you take it because there's certain months out of the year I do not coach only because I am heavy speaking on the road. February, March, and April is what I call my money months. And we'll talk about what are your money months because I have a challenge coming up at the end of this month and I'll break all of that down, right? So let's keep going, right? So number three for all my learners and earners, right? So the reason why I'm going to call you learners and earners, because those who learn more earn more. So the people who are constantly have a coach, they're reading a book, listen to a podcast, they're on Audible, they're investing in themselves. That is part of the knowledge of becoming a paid and powerful presenter, right? So here, Michael Jordan don't coach during the season. Absolutely, right? Because I'm out here in these speaking streets, right? We got Dr. Will Moreland in the building. I absolutely love it. He is an amazing speaker as well that you want to check out, has an amazing speaking program. All right. So number 3, if you want to become a paid and powerful presenter in 2024, this is what you need to know. You need to know the market that has the money to pay you. Why is that important, Dr. Hampton? The reason why that's important, Latoya, the reason why that's important, Tiffany, the reason why that's important is because most of us have a message, but we are trying to get the wrong market to pay us. Let me give you an example. Say, for example, you were a teenage mom, right? And you have a passion for teenage mothers. You want to show teenage moms that they still have life. You want to show them they can still, go to college. They can still pursue a thriving career. You want to show teenage moms that they can still be successful even if they had a child during their teenage years. Well, guess what? If they are a teenage mom, they probably are trying to make all types of ends meet. So if you're trying to go out here and get teenage moms to pay you to hear you speak or to hear your training, even though it's a great message, 9 times out of 10, they probably don't have the money to pay you. So what do you need to do, Solomon? What do you need to do, Sherelle? What is the plan, right? So what you got to do, Miss Sade, is you got to figure out what organizations, what associations have a audience of teenage moms, and now you can sell your keynote, your training, your workshop to that organization that has the market in it. Right. And that's what we're missing. We are trying to beat ourselves over and over again, trying to get a market to pay us that doesn't willingly invest in speakers. Right. There are certain markets that pay for your intellectual property. And many of us are trying to get a industry or a market to pay us who don't pay speakers, right? Some people really don't get this. Like, I remember the one time my mother said to me, so let me get this straight. People pay you to talk. And I'm like, yes, flabbergasted. Like, she couldn't understand it because in her word, this wasn't a profession. But there are some industries that this is a thing. They pay speakers, they pay presenters. So a lot of times we are literally hitting our head against a wall and we're getting frustrated in our speaking journey because you're trying to sell your speaking services to a market that does not invest in speaking services. All right, I'm gonna be crystal clear. I'm a God's girl, 100% God's girl, Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday. I believe and love God with all my heart and soul, but I can tell you right now, the church market ain't it unless you are a mega church pastor, right? Churches, for the most part, are going to give you a love offering, and baby, you did a good job. But most of the times, churches are not writing checks, especially if you want to get $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 to speak. So it might be a part of your give back. It might be a part of your I'm just doing this as a part of my ministry work. I'm not going to lie to you. Last year I did 5 free speaking engagements. Five, right? That's it. Everything else was paid because it was part of my ministry work, right? It wasn't just a part of me trying to get a dollar because this is a gift that I know that God has given me. I know that I'm supposed to change the world with my words. I know that I'm supposed to leave a legacy with my language. And I can't just save this gift just for someone who has a check for me. Part of what I do is I have a certain allotted of speaking engagements that I would do pro bono or lower my fee so I can operate in my ministry given talent, right? But my free speaking, my ministry given talent and ability to serve with my voice should not outweigh the number of paid speaking engagements I give. So I'm not trying to attack the church. I love the church, right? The church that gave me confidence, right? The church that made me feel like I was a superstar up there. However, I am crystal clear that if I want to get paid $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, that the church market is probably not the market that's going to pay me that. So what are the markets that actually pay and invest in speakers? I'm going to share that with you. Not today though, right? Because I want to give you a bunch of information, right? I'm going to share that. What are some of the top markets, that actually invest in speakers? And I'll share that with you in a second. But I want to make sure that you understand that if you're trying to get a certain fee, there are certain markets who respect speaking as a business and as a craft. There's a difference between somebody's a speaker and they are a professional speaker, right? You can play basketball, but then you could be a professional basketball player. It's a difference. Same thing as speaking, right? So you want to make sure that you're crystal clear that whatever message that you have, there is a market that is willing to invest in it. Okay. Y'all still with me? Just say I'm with you in the comments. I just want to know. Y'all with me? Hey, Lenitra. So Lenitra, guess what? I'm going to be in Charlotte. Now I'm having a whole conversation. I'll be in Charlotte. When am I going to Charlotte? The 18th, I'll be in Charlotte for my aunt's 60th birthday. I thought about you. So we might have to hook up when I come to Charlotte, right? Right. So I just want to make sure you're with me. Okay, we got Miss Missy in the building. All right. I'm glad that you are also with me as well. All right. So let me keep it going, right? So we talked about a couple different things because I'm about to wrap this up. I promised y'all, right? I promised you, Miss Diane, that I would be here with you to about 7:30 my time. Okay, so I want to make sure that I'm not. Hey, Miss Yolanda, I spoke at Yolanda's college. She invited me up there, and me and Mr. Everett. Mr. Everett Stein has an awesome and amazing speakers bureau as well. I'm going to talk about bureaus, not this live, but I will talk about bureaus and things like that as well. So let's keep this party going, right? So we talked about if you want to become a paid and powerful presenter in 2024, number one, you have to be able to answer the question, what do you speak about in a way that is clear, concise, and compelling? Number two, you have to be prepared. What does preparation look like? What is your inbound and outbound speaking process? Do you have adequate marketing materials? Are you a speaker or are you running a speaking business? I want to let y'all in a little secret. And this is something I had to learn the hard way. You do not have to be an amazing speaker to get paid top dollar. I know it sucks. We have all probably been to an event and you know for a fact that somebody paid that person to speak and you could have did 10 times better speaking with no preparation, but they probably did something right as far as marketing and running a business that got them on the stage. So your ability to be this amazing speaker is not a requirement to get paid. Right? We want you to be good. We want you to be decent. You being a good, a great, or a grand speaker can be beneficial, but it is not a requirement. So you don't have to go out here and take all of these different classes to become this powerful presenter, because most people, to be honest with you, who are getting paid top dollar are freaking horrible. But they understand the business of speaking. They have their marketing materials. They have an inbound process. They have an outbound process. They have a one sheet. They can tell you all about their speaking services and the learning objectives, right? So I was like, I'm not going to get mad. I'm just going to step my game up. That's what I'm going to do, because I was getting mad in that audience. I'm like, got me about to cuss on a Sunday. I'm like, you paid him? He's horrible. He's boring. I'm sleeping. You see that? That's drool, because they're so boring, right? But they understood the business of speaking. All right. So number four, how you can become a paid and powerful presenter in 2024 and beyond is you have to start investing in yourself. And I know that that might be something that you hear over and over again, but the reason why I say you have to invest in yourself, you will be surprised how many people want to command or demand a $5,000, $10,000, $7,500 speaker fee, and their website looks like $5. Like it just doesn't math. Like the math isn't mathing. You can't expect me to invest $5,000 in you and you still are using a selfie from your phone as a headshot. Like you can't invest in a professional headshot, right? Like you are not investing in yourself. So I talk to people, okay, you know what? You want to become a paid speaker. When's the last course you took? What's the last speaking book that you read? You know, this book right here, I wrote this for Black women. It says, Speak Black Woman, How Women in Business Can Profit from Public Speaking. If you ain't got $2,000 or $20,000 for a coach, you can spend $20 and get the book. But I have found that the biggest thing that trips me out, that people want to get paid, but they have not invested in themselves. I'm just talking about as simple as, you know, have you looked into a CRM, right? So if you are, you know, are you emailing people on a regular? Are you investing in your potential market? How often are you posting? How often are you sharing your intellectual property? How often are you sharing your thought leadership? I'm not talking about investing as far as hiring all these coaches. Are you investing in your craft? Are you investing in your people? So if you're telling me that entrepreneurs are the people that could benefit from your message, how often are you speaking to entrepreneurs on YouTube? How often are you speaking to entrepreneurs on Facebook? Are you speaking and adding value? Are you investing in yourself? And you investing in the market that can potentially serve you? Right. And I find that most people are not. They can't tell me last time they bought a speaking course. They haven't told me the last time they worked with a coach. They haven't told me the last time I'm still working on that website. Sis, you've been working on that website since 2020. It's 4 years later. It's 4 years later and you still don't got that website up. So let me get this straight. You want somebody to pay you $7,500 for a keynote, but your website is not up. You want somebody to pay you $5,000 for a workshop, but you can't even tell me what the workshop is about without running on and on. You can't even tell me the best audience for the workshop, right? You got to know your stuff. right? You have to understand that it's not enough for you just to be a great speaker. You have to constantly invest. I tell people, I can run down a list of coaches, right? And here's the thing, this is the beauty of living in a digital age. Sometimes you might not have the money to invest in somebody like Erica, who's an amazing coach. I see you, Miss Erica, up here, or somebody like Ty Nichols, who is doing this, right, in real time. However, you can invest in their what they offer, whether it's a course, whether it's their YouTube channel. Do you know how many what I call memes I have? Now, y'all, you don't make up stuff, right? What is a meme? A meme is a mentor in my mind, right? They don't know me like that. Maybe they do know me. Maybe met on Clubhouse when Clubhouse was popping. But guess what? They did something that I like, so I started following. I started watching them. I started looking at what they were doing. Matter of fact, Dr. Will Moreland, he was on. I don't know if he's still on, but he's a powerhouse. So he's a meme in my mind, mentor in my mind. Oh, he goes live. Oh, he posts on Facebook. He's investing in his people. And guess what? When he does make an offer, when he does say, buy my book, when he does say, take my course, they're already ready because he's been providing value to these people in the form of his words and his message. Right? So at the end of the day, you have to make sure that you are investing in your craft and what did you know to polish and perfect your presentation. But are you investing in the basics as far as just making your voice visible? How do I know to hire you, Celeste, as a speaker if I don't see any type of videos of you speaking? You going live. We have so many free tools at our disposal. We literally have a stage in our hand in the form of a phone, and we still are not going live. We still are not posting consistently. We still are not doing, any type of video or audio that can prove that we're a speaker. That is our secret sauce. So if you want to get paid to speak and you're silent, you go dead, you're inconsistent on social media, well, that's a free opportunity. That's a free stage. I can't take you seriously and want to pay you to speak. So my advice, my thought process, my 2 cents, probably a nickel is, are you speaking socially? Are you investing in the tools that are in your hand? And are you providing messages and value to the target client who could best benefit from what you have to offer? Right? All right, y'all. Last one. I'm going to wrap this up. Is this good so far? Like, do you like successfully speaking? Should I make this like a weekly thing? Would y'all like hop in? Like, does this work? Does 7 o'clock, Eastern Standard Time work for you? Give me a yes. Okay. All this good stuff. Hey, D, I love it. Right. So I just want to make sure. So last thing, I'm going to wrap this up for you is a bonus, right? Some of the reasons if you want to become a paid and powerful presenter is I would suggest doing this. I would suggest that you get around other people who are doing what you are doing. This speaking business should not be a solo sport. I am a part of 2 organizations that have polished my speaking business, has also referred me. The first organization is the Black Speakers Network. Brian Olds, one of my really good friends, he is the founder of the Black Speakers Network. Another network and organization I'm a part of is called the National Speakers Association. Under the National Speakers Association, I am part of several silos within that. So there is the National Speakers Association. I'm a part of Black NSA, which is the division with all Black speakers. I'm a part of NSA MCs. So there's a group of us who are just MCs. I'm also a part of NSA Millennials, right? So under this organization, there's umbrella silos for each. Why? Because these are other people who are getting paid to speak. And I believe if I'm in the same space, if I'm breathing the same air, that I can pick up tips and tools and techniques that they don't have to formally teach me. But I realized very quickly by joining NSA and Black Speakers Network that if you want to get paid consistently, that you have to invest in yourself and be around other people who are taking this seriously and not just playing around and saying they want to get paid to speak. But the last time they actually pitched themselves as a speaker was in 1978. You're not serious. If you are not actively pitching yourself to speak, then I don't understand how you are serious about wanting to get a paid speaking opportunity, right? So at the end of the day, the last tip that I can give you is join organizations where you know that other paid speakers gather. Join organizations. I know there's another organization called the Public Speakers Association, Professional Speakers Association. In Canada, it's called, I think it's called CAPS. I think it's like coalition, no, Canadian Association of Professional Speakers. That's what the organization is in Canada, Canadian Association of Professional Speakers, right? So at the end of the day, that's what you want to be a part of as well. You want to make sure that you are not just trying to figure this thing out by yourself. You want to be around other professional speakers, other paid speakers. Hey, Regina, who they're getting paid consistently as well because their knowledge, their information, the way they move, the way they operate, that will rub off on you. There are so many things I learned from the BSN network, from Black NSA, from NSA Millennials. Matter of fact, I remember I was on a panel. There's a yearly conference that the National Speakers Association hosts called Influence, and I emceed that one year, and another year I have spoken several times, right? And I was on a panel with a guy who was making $30,000 a speech. I was like, say what now? And we were on the same panel. I pulled out my pen and paper. I said, because clearly this man got something to teach me if you're making $30,000 a speech. And I knew he wasn't lying because his website, his marketing materials, his brand all screamed $30,000. So if you want to become a paid and powerful presenter, you have to be willing to become a student in 2.2 seconds. I can go from master, teacher, trainer to a student, especially if there is something that you're doing that I haven't mastered yet. And I don't know about you, but I have not made $30,000 one time for doing a speech. I've made it before, but not getting paid as a keynote. So I want you to understand that some of this is mechanics, some of this is trial and error, and sometimes it's just about being in the same room, rubbing elbows with people who are doing what you want to do. And that's how you can increase your chances of becoming a paid and powerful presenter. All right, y'all, I'm officially 9 minutes over. Thank you so much for joining me for Successfully Speaking. Again, my name is Quinn Conyers. My job, my goal, part of my assignment in this season is to really prepare speakers, entrepreneurs, founders, business owners, how to become paid and powerful presenters. You can add speaking to your business as a revenue stream, a marketing strategy, an overall way to grow your business. So again, thank you so much for joining me. If you want me to do more of these, I want you to type Successfully Speaking in the comments. I just thought about it and I went live today. Again, Happy New Year. But if you're like, Quinn, more of these, right? I want you to do more of these. Teach us how to become paid and powerful speakers. Just type more in the comments, and I'll make sure that I do more of these types of lives. Again, Latoya, thank you for joining me. Jessica, thank you. Jillian, thank you so much for joining me as well. Tammy, thank you for joining me. Jonesy, thank you so much for joining me as well. Dee, I appreciate all of you. Crystal, so good to see you as well. So again, thank you for allowing me to share some of my insight into the speaking industry. And I will probably see you next Wednesday at 7 o'clock if more of you want more information like this. So far, have a happy, blessed, and prosperous new year. And let's make 2024 awesome and amazing by becoming paid and powerful presenters. I'll see you next time.